Hi everyone, and welcome to Watercolors with Jaylene. And for today's tutorial, I'm going to be doing a loose flower design. The name of the flowers are Anemones, or I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but anyway, it's a very loose design. And before I get started, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. And if you could like my video, I would really appreciate it. That really helps me grow, and I appreciate the support. So to get started, today's supplies are pretty basic. We have a piece of watercolor paper, some clean water. Today I'm using my Grumbacher paint set, and it's just going to be a couple of colors that I'll be using, and also my number 8 round brush and my number 4 round brush. So I have done these in blues and purples. You can really choose any color you want. It doesn't have to be these colors, but I thought that they looked great. So to get started, let's set that aside, and I'm going to put this right here. So I'm going to start with my number 8 brush, and it's a real loose, easy strokes that we'll be doing. Nothing real complicated or defined. So I have a lot of water on my brush and just a hint of paint, and the blue that I'm using is a turquoise. So I'm going to start by just, painting real lightly the petals of the flower. And as I come around, I do want to make sure that I leave the center open. And then this side is what is facing us, so it's going to be a little bit less. The flower is kind of facing upward. Okay, so I have the basic flower, and then I will go back and drop in, while it's still wet, I want to drop in some of the turquoise to give it, some depth, and I'm doing it on this lower side. And then let me get just a little bit more just on the tip of my brush and drop that in. And I do it while it's still wet so that it can, blend in really nice as it's drying. Then I'll put just a little bit of color up there, and maybe some down here. Okay, so that's good. And as I said, we'll just kind of let this blend. I do want to make that circle, the inner circle, a little more defined. So we have that one, and now I'm going to go on to my purple. I clean my brush off, of course, and there's a lot of water and very little paint, and then we'll get started on the purple flower. And there again, we're just kind of going around and creating the petals. And with these flowers, and I'm not even going to attempt the name again, the leaves are very delicate and very flowy, so that's the look that we're trying to achieve here. Just a real loose, no definition really, and kind of making them nice and loose and flowy. And then now I'm going to go back and grab a little bit more of the purple, and I want to drop that in and get that kind of blending nice while it's still wet. And then just kind of give a couple of these petals a little bit of definition. Okay, and then we do want to make sure that that center is somewhat round or oval. And then for my third flower down here, I'm going to do a little bit of a combination of the blue and purple on the petals. I'm going to start out with the blue, and we'll, paint the petals. Nice big flowy petals. This one I'm making quite large, the largest of the 3. And then on this side, of course, the petals are a little smaller because we aren't seeing the whole petal with the angle of the flower itself. So this is where I'm dropping in just a little bit of the purple. over here, and then on the edge of the leaves a little bit. And now I'm going to grab some more of my turquoise blue and drop that in so that that can blend out nicely and give it some character. And I do want to tighten the circle just a little bit. I made that just a little too big. We don't really need it quite that big. So let me grab a little bit more of the purple. This is the one flower that's going to have a lot of color, so it'll be more prominent. Okay, so I tightened up that circle just a little bit, and we'll kind of bring a little bit color out to these edges. Okay, so these two are drying pretty nicely. So while those are drying, what I'm going to do is take, I like to use indigo. I know a lot of people, a lot of artists, when they're painting these, they'll use black, but I like to use the indigo. It's a nice dark color with a little bit of the bluish tint to it, a little hue of blue. So I'm just going around and dabbing it in, and still leaving a little bit of white, you know, showing here and there. And now this flower is still a little wet, so even if this blends a little bit, or, you know, into the flower color, that's fine. Okay, so we have these three. So we're going to let those dry for just a couple of minutes, and while those are drying, I'm going to take my number 4 round brush, and this is where we're going to go in and put the stems and some of the leaves in. And so I'm for the greenery, I'm using my Hooker's Green, and I have quite a bit of paint on the brush as well as a lot of water. In fact, too much water. Let's do this again. We don't need quite that much. Okay, and then this. Perfect. So there's our stems. Now I'm going to load up, and the leaves that I'm doing on this, they're more of a whimsical or kind of a loose leaf. And if there's a certain leaf that you're really good at doing or enjoy doing, use that. I'm really not even sure what kind of leaves these flowers have. So like I said, I'm just doing a whimsical, kind of like a fan type of leaf on it. And then I'm going to turn this just a little bit so I can do this one coming up. And I like to make them big. And just kind of scribble in a little bit of color, I guess. And then here, I am going to kind of overlap one of the flower, you know, the petals to the flower. Okay, and then I like to put in maybe just a stem coming out from behind the flower. That's just a stem, and then I'll add a little bit of a leaf to this as well. Okay, and you can see it's just kind of more of a little scribble type of greenery. And then over here, I'm going to bring out just a little stem and a little bit of, I guess, greenery over there as well. So that's going to be enough for the greenery. On a lot of flower designs, I do like to kind of load it up with green, but on this one, not so much. That's not really the highlight of it. And now that the centers are a little more dry, I want to go back and for this type of a flower, you know, they're known for the long, I don't know what these are called, but the long little things coming out of the middle, and then they have the little balls or dots along the top. And again, for this, I'm just using the indigo. and not being real particular, you know, just kind of real light strokes coming out. And then we want to dab our little seedling dots, I guess, at the top of them. Okay, how fun is this? And you can see how quick and easy this is. You know, you can sit and do a few of these. And on this side. And let me grab just a little bit more so we can do our dots around the top. Okay. And that really is, that's it. There's our 3 little flowers. They're really cute, fun little greenery on it. And if you like that type of greenery, you know, just kind of scribble it in. You can do that on any of your flower designs. I thought that would be nice on this because everything is kind of just a real loose look to it. And so I didn't want to do any like defined leaves or anything. So anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. Pick up your paintbrush and give it a try. Do a whole, earlier I had done a whole piece of paper of these, and I would show it to you, but I don't know where I put it. But anyway, they're a lot of fun to do. It's great practice. And until next time, ciao for now.